No amnesia, please. What I'm really hoping for is a total 180 in Liam's personality. Let's call it Dark Liam. Honestly, I've been pushing for this storyline for years, and if it doesn't happen, what's even the point? I've heard some spoilers suggesting Liam thinks he's still married to Steffy. Please no. Haven't we already had that plot where Steffy thought she was still married to Liam? How much nonsense are we supposed to swallow at this point? Honestly, a far better twist would be if Liam wakes up and doesn't recognize a single person, and thinks he's the same guy he was before he ever set foot in Lay. That would be an interesting change. And can we talk about how weird this whole brain surgery thing is? So, Liam has surgery to relieve pressure on his brain, wakes up in 12 minutes, and Steffy looks like she's ready for a Botox ad? Meanwhile, during the CT scan and surgery, Steffy's brain just shuts off. Not once does it occur to her to call Finn or Bill for help. No crash cart needed, just a couple of random medical staff swooping in like heroes. It's all just too convenient. At this point, I'm just hoping Liam wakes up and is basically Bill's mini-me. Oh, the Steffy show strikes again, right? Seriously, it feels like every single storyline on this show has to revolve around her. I mean, why can't we just have a story about Liam being Liam, without somehow weaving Steffy in and turning her into the second coming of Christ? It's beyond frustrating. Liam should be the center of his own drama, and yet somehow it's always about Steffy. The doctor shouldn't even be talking to her about Liam's condition. HIPAA laws exist for a reason. But of course, it's Steffy, so who cares, right? And don't get me started on how she's the only one in the hospital. It's like everyone else completely disappears when Steffy's around. Hope? Bill? Nope. Steffy's the one who needs to know every single detail. Why hasn't she called Hope or Bill? Especially since Liam and Hope have a kid together? It makes no sense. I get it, she has a history with Liam. But at this point, it's like she's not even allowing anyone else to be a part of the process. She's been involved in every single storyline for years now. Luna? Check. The takeover plot? Oh, of course. And now we're stuck with her in the Liam drama. I get that she's a main character, but really, she doesn't need to be in every plot. The writers just can't help themselves. They find any excuse to shoehorn her in. And let's talk about her not calling anyone while Liam's in surgery. Like, come on. She can't even call Bill, Wyatt, or Hope. Fine, she and Hope don't exactly get along, but Liam's her co-parent, and usually, the show at least makes an effort to put the kids' well-being first. It just feels off. And seriously, shouldn't the hospital have asked her about contacting his family? Liam's unconscious, unable to consent to anything, and yet Steffy's the one calling the shots. Honestly, I came to this subreddit to rant about the exact same thing. Is JMW secretly co-writing this show? Does she get paid per scene? Because it sure feels like it. Can we please mix it up just a little? Maybe give someone else a turn in the spotlight? And while I'm at it, can someone please set Brooke up on Tinder or something? Maybe she'll finally realize there are other men out there. With every breakup, she seems to lose more brain cells. But hey, at least Liam finally has a storyline again. If it doesn't bring Wyatt back to save the day, I don't know what will. Steffy is seriously testing my patience with her endless crying. Why, oh why, does she have to sit there next to Liam, sobbing like the world's ending, going on and on about the past, while completely ignoring the fact that there's an actual emergency happening? And where's the concern for Kelly? Not to mention, Hope's daughter is tied to Liam too. What if this was one of those critical moments where the girls really needed time with their dad? Hello, Steffy, priorities much. Any normal person would have been on the phone with family, friends, and probably even their neighbor while tailing that ambulance to the hospital. But nope, not in Brad Bell's soap world, where the wife of a doctor, who seems to have a degree in absolutely everything, just calmly follows the baby daddy to the hospital without making a single call. Doesn't think to call her doctor husband to check if he can, help. Doesn't inform Liam's actual family, his dad, his brothers, anyone. Nada, but don't worry, there's always tomorrow. Oh, and let's not forget about Finn, who's practically every doctor at this point. He's a cardiologist, pathologist, gynecologist. Hell, at this rate, he might as well be a brain surgeon too. It's clear the writers handed Steffy an unlimited supply of tears to drag this out. And honestly, there's no logical reason the hospital wouldn't have at least reached out to Bill in real life. But hey, we needed filler for today, so enjoy the walk down memory lane, courtesy of the writers. The difference is that she's not taking responsibility for it. Oh, sure, Ridge, Hope just can't accept your brilliant theory that she's secretly an evil mastermind, pulling all the strings like some kind of puppet master. Was the takeover a disaster? Absolutely. Did Hope's grown man friend, Carter, fall victim to her diabolical plan? Not even close. But seriously, when has Ridge ever taken responsibility for anything in his life? Let's just be real here. Hope is the perfect scapegoat. Meanwhile, Carter will just waltz off to Daphne Rose, and Ridge? Well, Ridge will always be that washed-up playboy crashing on couches, waiting for his next poor soul to victimize. This whole mess just highlights how ridiculously hypocritical Ridge and the rest of the Forresters are. They're perfectly fine with letting Carter, the actual mastermind behind the takeover, keep his fancy titles and jobs while Hope, who was barely an accomplice, gets the boot. Yeah, sure, the HFTF numbers are terrible, but let's not pretend for a second that Carter wasn't just as guilty here. But no, let's toss Hope aside, while Carter gets to keep being COO and the company's legal counsel. It's the classic Forrester double standard at its finest. Honestly, I was never excited about this takeover storyline because, as a longtime viewer, I knew exactly how it would play out. Hope would get blamed for everything that went wrong, while Carter, the genius who came up with the entire plan, gets to keep his cushy job. Oh, and Hope? She just gets bashed all the way out the door. No surprises there. And let's talk about what would happen if Hope actually did take responsibility and apologize for her part in this mess. Spoiler alert, absolutely nothing. Because that doesn't fit Steffy's agenda of getting Hope out of SC. Steffy's been itching to get rid of Hope for ages, and the whole HFTF is tanking excuse. Yeah, that's just a convenient cover-up. The real reason Hope's line took a nosedive is because Steffy planted seeds of doubt in Thomas' mind, convincing him that Hope was using him. And what happened next? Thomas leaves for Paris and bam, Hope loses her best designer, and her line starts spiraling. Classic Steffy move, right? Deacon really needs to have a word with Ridge. Sure, Carter's part of the mess, but it's Ridge who really deserves a confrontation. He's the one who tore into Hope. So if anyone should be getting an inevitable punch from Deacon, it's him. But here's the catch. Belle actually thinks Ridge is justified in his actions. So while Hope might be the only one to call him out, and let's be real, that was probably just a nod to the viewers who complained, don't expect anything meaningful to come of it. Belle's not about to make Ridge take any real responsibility. I mean, I'm not saying Belle's some sort of genius, but it makes perfect sense that a talent-lacking nepotism kid would see Ridge as some sort of hero. For years, both Ridge and Brooke have been treated like royalty by Belle, despite the fact they've spent most of that time being completely self-absorbed and doing terrible things to the people closest to them. And seriously, did Ridge ever apologize to Eric for basically stealing the company out from under him? Or to Rick for cheating with Caroline? Spoiler alert, he probably didn't. Liam/hospital scene rewrite. For the love of all things professional, can we please hire some local EMS workers or even an ER nurse to teach these actors how to look like they know what they're doing? How do you show up to film a scene and not even bother to watch a 5-minute YouTube tutorial? It's honestly mind-boggling. And let's talk about Steffy. Why on earth wouldn't she call Finn? Did we forget he's an actual ER doctor? That's his whole job, right? Not just being the convenient love interest. Oh, and brain surgery? No big deal at that hospital, apparently. Just a casual, quick procedure. Who needs tension or realism when you can breeze through life-threatening surgery in the blink of an eye? That whole scene was just chef's kiss. Wait, scratch that. Brain surgery? My bad? It's not surgery. He just took too many allergy pills and got a little dizzy. Big difference. Maybe the dizziness will finally help him realize there's more to life than prune-faced Steffy. I mean, maybe he'll even take a page out of the show's book and find somebody to actually live for. Maybe even get a little twist in the storyline and hook up with Finn. Wouldn't that be a plot twist? Interesting choices. So I was diving into the history via wiki forums and all that, and guess what I found? They keep giving the female characters the same names as their grandmothers. Which, you know, tradition and all, but it's kind of a nightmare for storytelling. You've got a Stephanie and a Steffy, because, sure, that's not confusing. A Beth who's both Brooke's mom and Hope's daughter. And don't even get me started on Kelly, was that Bill's mom? Liam's mom. Honestly, who even knows at this point? It's weird and kinda lazy if you ask me. Then there's Steffy, who names her son after Taylor's first husband, Blake Hayes, the guy who suffered a medical condition that made him violent. Oh yeah, what a stellar choice for your kid's name. But hey, what's so wrong with using family names and honoring people who actually matter to you? I mean, we do that in my family. Each of the boys has my grandfather's middle name. It's a nice way to keep his memory alive. But apparently, that's just too simple when you're trying to keep things confusing. Ah, yes, let's not forget Aspen Spencer, Liam and Steffy's firstborn, who miraculously appeared on July 2, 2013. It's funny how quickly I could do the math when Steffy got pregnant. Because, you know, they had their little romantic getaway at Brooke's old cabin in October. A perfect setting for that moment, right? All the magic of a soap opera romance. But of course, the show ended. Yet here I am, still imagining Aspen Spencer living his best life with his siblings, Kelly, Beth, and Hayes. Wouldn't it have been nice if he actually existed? Ah, well, dream big, right? As for Liam, really, no need for any more spawns. One big, happy, or not so happy, family is more than enough. A true Logan win. So, Hope finally decided to make her exit, because honestly, dealing with Steffy's endless nonsense wasn't worth the hassle. And as usual, Steffy had to spout off some self-righteous speech, with her precious monster of a stepfather and her clown of a father walking off like they just conquered the world, heads held high. Brooke, as predictable as ever, chimed in with her "I know exactly what I'm doing" mantra, while Ridge and Taylor, along with their little demon spawn, finally made their dramatic exit. Hope, free from the chaos, walked away with her daughter in tow, already on track to launch her own successful fashion empire, something that could actually give SC a run for its money. And yet there's Brooke, still clinging to whatever ridiculous plan she's concocted with Ridge running the show behind the scenes. But let's be real, this isn't the end-all be-all. It's just another chapter in the ongoing saga of the Logans thinking they're on top.